Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to go over the stock picks for the week of May 10th through the 14th. Just to reiterate, I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure that you do your own research before investing in any stock. Also, guys, if you find value in today's video, make sure that you smash that thumbs up button. And if you enjoy our content, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. That way YouTube can let you know every time I release new content. Also, guys, a happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. So, guys, let's dive right on into it. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and check out a recap of May 3rd through the 7th. So my picks were HAE, IDEX, and FNGU. Okay, so HAE got beat down pretty hard and actually is pretty much right about, well, not too far down from what it was last week. It didn't have a whole lot of movement. I think it actually might go down to maybe the 50s this week. So if you got in, then just keep in mind, I think it may go a little lower. So that's, kind of your decision on if you want to stay in or average down or whatnot. Or if you didn't get in, then you'd probably have a better entry coming up this week. IDEX was having a pretty decent setup, and then we had a pullback this week in the market, so everything was kind of shaky. And then FNGU, I talked about how it wasn't going to necessarily run this past week, but I thought that we were going to get some good dip buys coming up. So let's look and see exactly what each of these did for the 5-day. So see, IDEX here started off at about $3, finished at about $2.64. HAE was actually got as high as $67, and then slowly kind of bled down to about $61. And then FNGU got to about $32 and some change, and then slowly started to kind of fall back down again. And I think it got as low as $27.90. So kudos to whoever was able to get in at those prices. So I bought a little bit in the 28s and 29s, but I'm just gonna hold for a little bit and see. Hopefully it'll pop back up into the 30s. If not, I'll be like I said in the channel, I'll just be looking to constantly average down on this one. So my picks for this week, guys, HAE is on the list again just because it provides another buying opportunity, and also it's still really undervalued. Okay, so basically it's kind of like a hold or an entry point, but I would put a tight stop loss on it. Okay, FSLY is a tech company that Cathie Wood came out and talked about how she slashed shares of this one along with Apple and other stocks. So it completely just obliterated it and made it fall down. It's undervalued. It's one of the plays that I find basically on FinViz that's undervalued, and there was a lot of them that were undervalued, but this one in particular, literally the only reason it fell was because Cathie Wood said she slashed shares of it. Okay, and people freaked out because they think that she's it's the end all be all if she says or does anything, right? So we'll look at the charts on that one in a second. And then Golden Nugget Online Gaming, guys, I told you last week that anything in the 13s is a good buying opportunity. So let's take a look at the charts, guys, and see what they're telling us. But other than this thing here, these three, the first two, okay, definitely a tight stop loss on, okay. But everything else, I mean, I've been averaging down in my position, so I'm just going to be watching this week a lot from the sidelines, to be honest with you, and kind of see how things play out. And worst case, maybe average down in one position, but I pretty much have most of all of my portfolio tied up at the moment because I've been averaging down for weeks. So now I'm just kind of waiting on things to act right and move back to the upside. All right, guys, so here's HAE. As you see, it's still undervalued, and it's just kind of chilling around this $60, $61 mark. It may fall a little bit lower into the 50s, but I mean, as you see here, if you buy in right here, guys, and all these stocks, when they get beat down and they just die out, eventually they do make their way back to the upside. So again, buying up at this point here in the 50s, and maybe have your sell order in at about $70. That would be a decent take profit mark there. So 60 or below is your entry, and 70 would be your sell. Okay, next is going to be FSLY, and this is Fastly Incorporated. And as you see here, I was trading on the SMA line, and they announced that ARK Invest had cut their shares. And let's just take a look here at, draw the retracement level here. Okay, so we're at the bottom of the bottom here, guys. So hit a low of 41 for the time frame. We've been undervalued pretty much all week, and it could have been that something to do with earnings. Okay, that that they slashed, or maybe I don't even know if they had earnings yet. Let's see. Yep, they had earnings, and I guess they missed, and that's maybe why that ARK Invest slashed their shares. But anything right here, guys, you could enter in. And same thing, you could write it up $5-10, sell at $50, or you could put a trailing stop loss and maybe try to write it closer to $60. But this will probably be a longer term play. Whenever they get beat down like this, and some type of catalyst of, like saying, some type of big hedge fund or investment firm sells shares, it's going to take a little time for them to kind of pop back up, but it'll come. Or you may just get an initial spike off of this, back up closer to 50 before it falls back down again. Okay, and then last one is GNOG, and like I told you, anything in the 1350s you want to gobble up. And I told you on one of the videos that I talked about it being undervalued and that it should pop back up, and that's exactly what it did. So we did cross over from a bearish to a bullish pattern on the MACD, so I expect this to pop above that 1357. Okay, and possibly test that 14 to 14.50 cent mark. And one thing I forgot to mention on FSLY is on the MACD, you see we're starting to slowly lose steam as far as selling off, and we could potentially cross over into that bullish pattern and making a little initial spike and closer to that $50 mark. Okay, guys, and on the watch list for me is Zion Oil and Gas, ticker symbol ZNOG. We've been having some upward momentum. I would expect a little bit more of a pullback and hopefully some move to the upside, but you could actually look for an entry point this week and possibly get in and average down or begin a new swing. We had some some really good days in the market as far as ZNOG, and I think we finished at about 64 or 65 cents on Friday. Tesla, guys, keep an eye on this because I think they showed something on Saturday Night Live, one of the Tesla vehicles or something. I really didn't watch the whole thing, but that can send it coming up higher, and you just never know. I mean, Tesla's a very volatile stock, so I would just keep an eye on it. And in fact, let's take a look at the charts on both of those really quick to see what they're telling us. All right, guys, so here is Zion Oil and Gas. Current resistance of 74 cents. You see we got as high as 80 cents and got rejected. All right, and we are crossing over from a bullish to a bearish pattern, so I can see us falling down further, maybe back into the 50s. And if we can hold somewhere mid 50s and then shoot back up, that would be a good sign, but we'll have to just kind of wait it out and see. But just a heads up, if you're not in the stock and you've been thinking about getting in, I would wait and see how Monday plays out. Okay, we could just see a slight dip and maybe a small fall before we take back up, or if we start seeing, if that candle starts getting a little bit bigger and starts coming down, then you want to wait it out, because if we fall forward and fall fast into the 50s, then we could potentially retest that low of 47 in this little channel here. That's our support. Okay, and Tesla. Tesla currently at about 672. We did also get another sell signal on Tesla, and we are trading below the SMA line, so it's still a little bit more risky to get in. And your current support is at about 598. So if it decides to sell off further, you got some room for downside. But if it falls down here at 598, I'm buying right here for sure, because it's going to shoot back up very, very aggressively once it decides to. But your current resistance of 708.25. All right, guys, that's all I got for you in this video. Make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and comment below on what you would like to see and also what you're buying for the upcoming week ahead. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and we'll catch you in the next video.